Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is the City Council public hearing meeting. I'll call this to order, and this is for the millage rate for 2025. I'll read the rules of order for public hearing, non-zoning matters. The mayor is the presiding officer. All remarks shall be addressed to the City Council as a body, not to individual members. Anyone wishing to speak shall come to the microphone, give your name and address to the city clerk, limit remarks to 3 minutes unless further time is granted by council, not speak a second time until everyone wishing to speak has spoken once and no one can speak more than twice. Please do not speak unless you have the microphone and have been recognized. And with that, I will open this public hearing.
Good evening. My name is Daria Kriskus. I am the Budget and Strategy Manager. And we're here to talk about, this is the public hearing portion for the process of adopting the millage rate tonight. So, all right, so back in December, that's when we adopted the 2025 budget. And at that time, we adopted a general fund budget of just under $36 million with anticipation that we would adopt a 6.25 millage rate. 6.25 mils has been the millage rate since 2019. And then want to say due to an increase in DeKalb's reevaluation of real property tax assessments, the proposed millage rate of 6.25 mils will result in an increase in property taxes by 7.81%. In order to adopt the millage rate, we have to have 3 public hearings. We've had 2 on June 12th at 11:30 and 6 p.m., and this is our 3rd and final public hearing. And a special called meeting to adopt the millage rate will occur immediately after this hearing. Anything else? Okay, and then this was advertised in the newspaper, but this is the digest and 5-year history.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak on this item in favor? Anyone in opposition? All right. Sharon, did we find out if we have to do public comment again? I mean, we have to do that. Okay, so then we'll move down to public comments on this. Again, I'll read this. The mayor is the presiding officer. All remarks shall be addressed to the city council as a body, not to individual members. Anyone wishing to speak shall come to the microphone, give your name and address to the city clerk, limit remarks to 3 minutes unless further time is granted by council, not speak a second time until everyone wishing to speak has spoken once and no one can speak more than twice. Please do not speak unless you have the microphone and have been recognized. And with that, if anyone wishes to speak, please come to the microphone.
Out of opposition for the millage rate increase. I just had it increased last year. There's studies out that 30% of housing in Atlanta is owned by private equity. I would like to argue that the inflation that we've had with housing prices doesn't really actually assess what they are valued at. So the tax increase on top of that is just making it an astronomical jump for no reason. That's it.
Okay, sir. I just need your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry. My Hunter Kemmer, 2972 Appling Circle.
Thank you, sir. All right, with that, I will close out the public hearing, and we'll move into the special called meeting. With that, I'll call to order, and the clerk will call the roll.
Mayor Brian Mock.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Jimmy First.
Here.
Councilmember John Mesa. Councilmember.
Since he's in Alaska.
Oh. Councilmember Leslie Robson. Councilmember Paul Stovall.
Here.
Councilmember Elmer Vythe.
Tybee Island.
All right. If I could get someone to approve the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion?
Yes, I would like to mention that our millage rate is remaining the same. our millage rate is remaining the same, 6.25.
Councilmember Robson, you
This is-
can,
This is discussion on the approval of the agenda
Yeah,
right
so
now. It's
this
discussion on approval of the
regarding
agenda.
approval of the agenda.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
So
sorry.
you can talk about it once you get to staff action. No worries.
Okay,
We'll have plenty of time.
motion to approve.
All in favor of approving the agenda? That is unanimous. All
You're
right.
passionate. We got it.
Yes.
That moves us down to staff action items, and up first, we have the 2025 millage rate resolution. Did you need to go over that again, or I think we've got that.
No additional information, just we need to take action on it tonight.
All right, now Leslie,
I can make my comment?
you can say
All
anything you
right,
want to say.
so, as I was saying before I was so fortuitously interrupted, our millage rate is remaining the same. The problem exists, and this happens every single year. DeKalb County has raised your assessment. And because of that, your property taxes are going up because the county has said that your land is, or home or whatever, is more valuable than it was last year. A better way for you to oppose that is to oppose the assessment on your property. So, just wanted to point that out. We pride ourselves on trying to keep our millage rate the same.
I would just add to that for 6 years, we've kept it 6.25%, and that's in the face of COVID in 2020
Yep.
and the uncertainty of 2021 and 2022. I would also mention that DeKalb Schools is the highest line item on people's taxes by far. I believe, and this is approximate, we're about 30%, the city takes about 30% of those taxes, and DeKalb Schools takes the rest. And the other thing I mentioned on this, businesses are the vast majority of our tax digest, and I know that's 70% to 30% of the residential. However, they don't get homestead exemptions, and they do not get senior exemptions, and any rental properties do not get those exemptions either. So, and they are taxed as a business rate right now. So this affects a small amount of the population, but we have to have equal application of the law across all businesses and residents. And I'm proud to say that I can't say how we're going to vote, but I suspect we'll keep it the same this year.
Anything else? I always encourage everyone, I'm glad. Property values going up is a good and bad thing. It's great if you're looking to sell or thinking about selling and, that kind of stuff. But for those of us that are staying put, that's not always the case. But I always encourage everyone to appeal because the county doesn't come out. They're sitting at a keyboard and they're just doing their numbers and crunching numbers. So I've appealed mine a couple of times and actually had it lowered. So I would encourage anyone to appeal their taxes.
And Brian, I would just add, excuse me, Mayor Mock, I would just add that I got my assessment in the mail today, believe it or not. It went down $9,500, so I did something wrong.
Okay. Yeah, there goes the neighborhood. Jimmy moved in. All right. So with that, we have, we'll need a vote on this. I guess I should before I open discussion. Sorry, I'm not all with it tonight, but I should have.
Backwards. That's okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to keep our millage rate at the advertised 6.25 millage rate.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to keep the 2025 millage rate and adopt the resolution at 6.25 mils. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? And that is unanimous. With that, we have the 2025 Chamblee Downtown SSD.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to set the 2025 Chamblee Downtown Special Services District millage rate at 2 mils.
Second.
Did you want to talk to us about that? You good?
Good. I'm here if you need me, though.
I don't want to take your moment from the sunshine there.
I've
all
got
right.
plenty. We're good.
Well, we have a motion and a second to approve the 2025 Chamblee Downtown SSD District millage rate as presented by staff. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? And that is unanimous. Next up, we have the 2025 Chamblee Dresden Plaster Special Service District millage rate.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to set the 2025 Chamblee-Dresden Placer Special Service District millage rate at 2 mils.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to set the 2025 Chamblee-Dresden Plaster Service District as presented by staff. Any further discussion on that?
Yeah, I would like a tiny little explanation of this one as well. This, the special services districts have the opportunity to set a millage rate above our millage rate, and that money is to be used only for projects within the special services district, one of which is our downtown, the other of which is the Dresden Plaster SSD, both of which need some love, extra love, and wouldn't be getting it without this.
If I could just add to that, just for as a point of clarification, we did a small area plan for those watching at home on the Dresden Plaster area in 2023, 2024, and you guys created that SSD at the end of 2024, so this is the first year that this SSD would be generating any revenue to go into those projects that were listed in that small area plan.
And just to piggyback off Councilwoman Robson's comment, we are putting $13 million in Dresden Park, and this will help us maintain Dresden Park and improve their surrounding area, as you so elegantly put, need some love.
All right, and last up, we have the FY 2025.
Mayor,
Mayor, I believe
excuse
you
me,
need-
we need an actual vote.
Did I not do that?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, then we have a motion and a second to approve as presented by staff, and all in favor. And that is unanimous. All right. And then finally, we have the FY 2025 general obligation bond millage rate.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to set the general obligation bond millage rate for the fiscal year 2025 at 0.81 mils.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the GO bond?
I want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, all of our residents that came out and approved this bond. Because without this, we would not be able to move forward on a lot of the projects that need love out there. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to all the citizens that came out and voted yes to this GO bond.
All 82% or something like that, 81? Yeah.
All right. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? And that is unanimous. And then that will take us down to public comments on any of these or any other items that anyone wishes to discuss. The mayor is the presiding officer. All remarks shall be addressed to the city council as a body, not to individual members. Anyone wishing to speak shall come to the microphone, give their name and address to the city clerk. Limit remarks to 3 minutes unless further time is granted by council. Not speak a second time until everyone wishing to speak has spoken once. No one can speak more than twice. Please do not speak unless you have the microphone and have been recognized. Anyone wishing to speak on any topic? All right, seeing none, do we have executive session? Please say no. All right, we have no executive session, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? And that is unanimous, and thank you guys for tolerating my raspy voice. We would not have had a quorum had I not gotten out of bed.
That raspiness, baby. Remember those when we were younger? Little late night television? Hunter, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. No problem.
Turning this off, people leaving their mic.
Is that it was 81% approval